sit across from your partner and whisper, "You got it, dude." Now, partner, respond, "You got it, dude." Jacob, say it back.
You got it, dude. Welcome to
the Is
This Entertainment Podcast with your host.
Welcome.
Benjamin Owens and Jacob Aaron.
So yeah, I want to talk about. Obviously, we're going to talk about time.
What I did watch. You know what I did watch?
Yeah.
I did watch The Vow. My wife and I binge watched it. We did it. Yeah. We'll go into that later. We'll do Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big week.
Yeah. That was, we did it all in one day.
Man. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Well, stay tuned for more cult topics.
I want to jump right in.
Nope. We're going to Falcon, the Winter Soldier. We'll give the people what they want.
Okay.
At the Is This the Entertainment Podcast.
Isn't this the entertainment?
Ask your father. Ask him. Am I speaking English? I feel like my mouth is not moving.
Is that what happened?
Oh, did you see what's the comedian that made fun of the Cajuns on Netflix? Segura? Is it Tom Segura?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, he's like, we should build a wall, but it should be around Louisiana.
Dude, Louisiana's insane. Like, they still have crazy, like, French laws there.
Yeah, they're not as, I don't know. It's a different type of civilization. Yeah. And I could talk about my family here, since they're all from there, on my mother's side. There's a reason that we left Louisiana. And I'll just leave it there. You can just interpret that however you want. Yeah. And on that note, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Episode 3. Identity Politics and Geobraid. What? No, this episode was all right. I like this episode. It had some mystery to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to throw out my big reveal idea right now. I think, this is my guess. No, go back to that picture. I think Sharon Carter there, former potential love interest of Captain America, slight issues with the fact that he was in love with her aunt. I'm saying Sharon Carter is the power broker.
You think she hired people to kill her?
I didn't think
about that one.
The power broker people were the people who were coming to blow everybody up?
Yeah.
Are we sure about that? Dang.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. That might poke a hole in my theory.
Yeah. It's entirely possible.
My theory might be Swiss cheese.
This is Marvel, so it is possible.
Hey, she handled herself well.
Yeah.
Maybe those goons were hired by some other people.
Oh, the anti-power broker.
Yeah, maybe they were. Yeah. What is that spot called? Manipur? Is that a real place?
I think it's made up. I think it's like what do they call it? It's like a Singapore type made up place. Madripoor or something. They don't like to use the real place because they don't want to make it seem worse than it already is or whatever.
No, what's interesting is when they were pulling up, when they were showing like the establishing shot of the city and they were like walking across that really cool bridge, having just watched Kong versus Godzilla the other night, and they fight in Hong Kong. And so just like the way the buildings were lit, it reminded me of Hong Kong from the Godzilla Kong movie.
It's got a bit of an Asian vibe about it.
Yeah. All the like neon lights on the outlines of the buildings and stuff. It was very cool. And so when they showed that established shot, I was like, oh, I watched two monsters beat each other up in a very similar looking setting the other night. That was fun.
Yeah, we didn't watch it. I couldn't get the wife to sign on to that one. I was like, yeah, but it's in the theaters. And she's don't care.
I liked, of the 4 movies, so you got the Godzilla, the Kong Skull Island, the Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then this one. I would say Kong Skull Island is probably my favorite, then probably Godzilla King of the Monsters, then Godzilla versus Kong, and then that first Kong movie, or that first Godzilla.
So you actually watched all of this stuff? Okay. I feel like if I was a kid, I'd watch it.
All 4 of the...
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's a hard sell, and I think too because of the way that maybe Asians are depicted in it might have something to do with it. I don't know how negative or stereotypical they are, but I think that might have something to do with why my wife has an aversion to Godzilla or Godzilla. Yeah, yeah, Godzilla.
I would say this is from my straight white male point of view. It seems perfectly fine. But I can see where it would be a hard sell, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some, just maybe the older Godzilla movies where you got Godzilla. It's, okay. Definitely. Yeah. That just maybe just puts a whole stain on the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It just goes, you know what? Maybe I don't need that in my life. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
I get it.
There are advantages to Asian wife, though. Yes. Yes. And we're talking food. Don't get naughty in your brain. We're talking food.
No, of course. No, I was honestly very very curious as to where this was going. I thought you were going to go with cookie route.
No, we're talking food. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Best food. Just so much flavor that I didn't know I was missing my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best.
Nice.
The best.
So what's your favorite meal then of your favorite new meal, thing? I guess, if you
The favorite thing that she makes is Thai curry.
Okay.
Yeah. So just so good, man. It's just so satisfying. So satisfying. Yeah.
Now, does it have like a peanut vibe to it, or is it no? It's just straight kind of curry. Now
they're famous for their Penang, which is like a red kind of curry, but I really enjoy the yellow curry because I'm still a white guy, so the spice level is still an issue. So there's still spices in there, and it just has this great aroma and just satisfaction from eating it. It's just, oh man, it's the best. It's freaking the best. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, man, that Thai spice can kick it up quick.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as peppers go, they have a little bit of a sweetness to them, if you can call a pepper sweet. But yeah, they definitely can get hot though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. If they ask you what spice level and you're not used to anything past Taco Bell, definitely do a 2 or a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's my Thai food advice. Yeah. You're probably a 2, even if you like spicy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, with the heartburn troubles that I have, no. My spicy days have long since gone.
Oh, that's sad.
Unless I have to have perfect conditions. It has to be all right, what am I doing tomorrow? How good of a night's sleep do I need to have? Am I eating at 1 in the afternoon, or am I eating at 7 p.m.? Anything, 8 or 9 p.m. is completely off the table. And I would say, nothing super spicy past 5 is probably my best
decision.
Yeah, my best mode of transportation there, because otherwise it's going to get bad. It's going to be 3 a.m. night sweats. It's going to be, it's not going to be great.
What are we even talking about? Well, the 20 people that listen to this podcast are what the F is going on?
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So Sharon Carter, I'm calling it. She is, what's that person? What's their name again? It's the name of the freaking episode.
Is it? Oh, it's the power broker. There you go.
Power broker. Yes. Yes. The power broker. So I thought
I don't understand why Falcon has to pretend he's some other dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't seem necessary. It seems like it's just a thing that's going to get him caught.
Also, I feel like everybody should easily recognize
that guy. Yeah. They're if he knows what he drinks, then he probably knows his face is a different shape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Was that a snake egg? Was that a piece of, was that a chunk of, that was egg?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah. No, thanks. Yeah.
No, thanks. Have you ever eaten snake?
No. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Now, I have been across the border from Thailand. There's Laos.
Yep.
And Myanmar. And I can't remember which one of them. And they have this in Thailand somewhere also. But it's just jars of snakes. Okay, this is alcohol. But there's snake in there or
gotcha.
Or tiger penis.
Tequila.
Tiger penis.
All right.
Booze. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. So you can get all of these boozes with animal parts. That's it's supposed to give you a little boost in that area. Yeah.
Kick it up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Turn it up.
Yep. Yeah. A little virility.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's hard to look at. It's hard to.
Yeah. I just want everybody who's listening and not watching us on YouTube to know, we're both making disgusted faces.
Yeah. No, it's normal. Like this, it's funny because like Red Bull came from this idea, this concept, right? Putting bull ball, like what was it, bull balls, in in a drink. Like it's a real thing
with a weird strawberry flavor. Would you call Red Bull strawberry flavor? Yeah,
it's got some B vitamins in there. Yeah,
there's something in there. Yeah.
Oh, what are we talking? I cut all this out. Jesus Christ.
No, this is the gold right here. This is the good stuff. This is what the people came for.
We hope you're old listeners.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. We haven't talked about child grape this episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, we are going to talk about the VOW later, so I'm sure it can...
Yeah, we'll go right there.
Come out.
Yeah, it's over. This episode is restricted for adults only, please.
Yeah. Yeah, so I really thought that Zemo was running these super soldiers. That looks more and more like it's not the case.
Why does he all of a sudden want to get rid of super soldiers? Didn't he want super soldiers?
No, because he killed all the super soldiers in Siberia. Because he was like, I think his whole thing is the world doesn't need superheroes. Right. It wants normal people.
But didn't he have something to do with creating them? Am I missing something?
I don't know if he specifically.
No. Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think at the onset of this show, I thought he was going to be I thought he was involved, and that still might be the case. But I think his general MO is no superheroes. Don't want them, don't need them. Superheroes blew up.
So he works with one.
My town.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So he works with one to take down the rest. He's biding his time. You can tell. He's biding his time.
He's
going to make a move.
I don't understand why they trust him at all. Like, why is he not in cuffs the whole time?
Yeah. Like, why don't they have a gun on him at all times? They're just like, and he's, oh yeah, let me just get my chartered jet. No big deal. By the way, I'm a baron. I'm super rich. I got this fancy fur coat. No big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting on that plane. If I get on that plane, he could be like, oh, and by the way, Kensington, throw these men out of the plane, please.
Or shoot them or whatever, yeah. It's a little weird that they trust each other. But on the other hand, they did break him out. So
true.
Maybe that goes a long way, you know. If somebody breaks you out of prison, you give them a little bit of rope.
Like, all right, I help you, you help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of rope. I think he's assessing the situation. Mm-hmm. But I will say he definitely has a comedic relief kind of role in this episode, which is fun. It's a little refreshing.
And he looks the same, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's aging, except maybe 2012 Loki for some reason.
He's been, I don't know if he got blipped or not, so that could also be part of it.
But what year was before that?
So in theory, this is probably, 2023, 2024? So if Endgame happened and if Infinity War happened, no, the show takes place after the blip.
Oh, I see. So he could have got blipped or not blipped. I see. Okay.
Yeah, I mean they all could have. Bucky and Sam all got they got blipped.
Right.
So they're not 5 years older, but
I see.
Take care of themselves. They're all on the treadmill. I mean, they're doing their best. They're doing their portion control. And,
I've been to deep dive on aging and anti-aging. I'm scratching the surface.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all about those telomeres, I think, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like you got to put your body in a state enough, like once a week or every 2 weeks, where it thinks it might not get food, and then it kind of resets itself. It's like a fasting type of thing, you know.
Interesting.
And then it's like your DNA like reanalyzes and makes sure it's on top of shit. But if you're like always satisfied and always fulfill, your body has no need to like double check shit. Like you're just, and then so stuff starts to break down just incrementally.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's an interesting theory. I don't even know if it's proven or anything, or to what degree. But yeah. There's aging. Yeah. Who knows? I'm not a scientist.
I mean, if Zemo's locked into that cell for however long, he's just eating what they give him, and I'm sure it's not much.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of exercise regimen you can have inside of that thing. I'm sure it's just a lot of like push-ups
Sit-ups.
and jumping jacks and maybe some squats.
Which is honestly, it's more than probably most people do.
If you have no way to distract yourself other than strolls down memory lane, then you probably get a lot of exercising done.
Yeah. That's another thing. Like I've really been exercising, not a lot, but compared to what I used to do, a lot. Like I just spend 10 to 15, 20 minutes every day doing something. And I feel like way stronger. I feel way better overall. And your body changes too. Like your shoulders get wider. I don't know what I'm saying. I think.
No, you're good. I fell off on the exercising because I just haven't been able to get back in. Some back pain, some old man back pain.
Yeah.
And it's really deterring me from wanting to get up and do stuff. I feel like if I started walking on the treadmill a little bit, maybe this would work itself out. I don't know.
Just get moving.
Or I might hurt myself more. That's the problem.
Yeah, I do these
just I do some yard work this week, and that's a lot of bending over. I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like super simple yoga, stretching, not even like a full whatever, just like some basic. And it's just like just enough. Like, I'm super lazy. So me exercising is somebody who's probably, you didn't even exercise. But for me, I'm like, I feel a lot better. I can stretch further. And the next time I exercise, it's not as tiring. And that's the thing. I was pushing myself too hard. I was like, I need to be able to do 100 push-ups. And I was murdering myself. Like I would force myself to do 80 or 90 or whatever. And then I'd be shut down for a week and a half, not being able to really do that amount of push-ups again.
Lift things.
Yeah. I would just be sore and tight, it's, I overdo it. So you got to really pay attention to your own situation, something no one ever tells you. Pay attention to your own body.
Pay attention to your body.
We're way off the rails.
Yeah. So what else was fun about this episode? What else was fun?
I feel like they went into that bar.
It's good to see what Sharon Carter's up to. Yeah.
Well, he drank the drink. Sharon Carter conveniently shows up to save him. Like these things, this show, I just feel like the show is written like in such a weak way. Like all of these things that happen are just, it's written by bullet points. Okay, let's have this thing happen, and then we'll try to tie it together. Whereas, which is fine, but you really have to like, the motivation from the characters just is so thin for me. I don't know. Like, why would they get along? Why is he not in handcuffs? Just all these little things just kind of irk me. It's just like you know what it is? It's like a YA novel. It's something written for people. We are talking about a Marvel movie, so I guess, but I feel like it's written for 13-year-olds or 12-year-olds or something, where it's like they don't really have to explain the motivation or details. Like, this happened, then we move along to this thing because he's a sparkly vampire or whatever. Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I have no problem with Sharon Carter saving the day and whatever that convenience is. I think the idea of her going from SHIELD agent turned CIA agent turned now unwelcome in America and living in this, I don't want to say seedy underworld because it doesn't, it's kind of a fancy underworld. And I think that there's a bold choice to put her in that scenario because I honestly was like, everybody else seemed to be okay after the events of Civil War. There were no like long-term repercussions for anybody other than her.
Ant-Man had an ankle bracelet, I think. There were repercussions.
Yeah, but so why couldn't she get home incarceration for a couple of years and then
I think she's probably the kind of person that didn't want home incarceration. Probably was like,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I got the sense that maybe that wasn't offered. I feel like her offenses were, but she also, stole from the CIA. So there's that, as opposed to Ant-Man just
showed up,
fought some people, showed up and fought some people. Yeah. So I don't know, but so I think the choice of having her, become this role player in Underworld land that's a fun choice. That's an interesting choice. That's not where I pictured she would be. I thought it would be a slap on the wrist, like, all right, you go back to working for the CIA kind of thing, or something along those lines. Yeah, so having her kind of
going against the government, like, what do they call that?
Treason?
Yeah, treason. That's a big deal.
Right.
That's what she did.
But it's not that much more than what anybody else who was with Cap did.
Yeah, but the way they look at it is if she hadn't done what she did, then none of the following events would have happened or whatever. Like shit wouldn't have got stolen or whatever.
Yeah, Cap and Sam and all of them, they were on the run for 2 years.
Yeah, it was treason. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay, still an interesting choice, I thought.
Yeah, to me it made sense, but it's just weird that she conveniently showed up at the right time. I like that kind of stuff. It just bothers me. It bothers me because Falcon and Winter Soldier, obviously two dudes that can take care of themselves. It just seemed convenient. And like a note, they said, okay, we'll have Sharon Carter save them. And then they had to come up with the scene for that to happen. And I don't know, man. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired.
Do you not want to watch the show?
I've been thinking about being done with it. But you know what? Loki has really intrigued me. We literally just watched the trailer today. And so now I'm like, okay, this show makes sense. This looks interesting. A different take on it.
Yeah, I think you need a weirder show.
Yeah, I need a weirder show. I need something that's going to stimulate some intellect a little bit. And not this cookie cutter stuff that is just so surface level. And I'm happy to see Sebastian Stan take a lead role here. That makes me happy and makes me like hopeful for future Sebastian Stan as maybe Luke and Star Wars stuff. But as far as this show goes, like I'm just not, it feels like a side quest. If you're playing a game and this is an optional side quest, this is not a requirement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's how the Disney Plus shows have to operate. They're not going to be like these huge events. You can't have an Infinity War happen. You're going to have to make it a little bit more localized.
But why? You see what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make any sense.
I'm sure there's budget concerns that make it that way.
You would be making more money you're making more money on Disney Plus than you are making films, hypothetically speaking. If you have 400 million people paying $8 a month or whatever it is, or 100 million people, that's 800 million a month. I think you're all right. I think you can make a blockbuster style thing every month and you'll be all right.
I think this has blockbuster elements. There's big fight scenes. There was
like 800 million, but this 800 million is like a goal that these type of movies go for. And they've basically got that locked up. Like it's guaranteed, so there's no reason they can't.
But it's also split over like how many different shows, how much like content they have to fill Disney Plus with. And then like we have the minute this show ends, Loki starts up. And the minute that Loki ends, there will be another show that starts up. So we're getting into a place where there's going to be weekly content.
That's what we're paying for.
Weekly content.
That's what I'm saying. Like budget is obviously a concern, but it not to any like serious degree. They've already got it. They already know they're going to make it. They've got it covered. They've got a subscription. Whereas if they were making a movie, you don't know if people are going to go see it. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
But if you're making a show that's called Falcon Winter Soldier, it's going to be more along the lines of the Winter Soldier Captain America movie, where it's going to be a little bit more of following threads to solve the mystery kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not that bothers me. It's the subtle character things that bother me. Okay. Like just the character motivations for things. Like Falcon trying to pretend to be this other guy. There's no reason for that to happen. Falcon's cool on his own. He can just be some made up guy. He doesn't have to be some guy that somebody's going to recognize and go, wait, you look a little different.
But if you're in criminal underworld land, you don't want to be Captain America's best friend walking in.
No, I'm not against him being, you know what I mean? Disguised. They're going to be like, an Avenger? We're going to have to No, he should definitely be disguised, obviously. But if you're in a criminal underworld, people don't need to know who everybody is. It's an underworld. So therefore, like being in a disguise to me makes more sense than impersonating somebody that you're not, you know? So it's just little things like this that irk me.
And otherwise, we don't see him drink a snake egg.
That's true. That's exactly. It's like somebody wrote, okay, Falcon needs to drink a snake egg. Like that was a thing. Let's have this scene. And then it's just another thing that's not motivated correctly, because that's something that Falcon would never do. Like he would never dress up as this guy. You know what I mean? Like character wise, it doesn't sit right with me. You know?
I mean, I think Falcon would.
Yeah, I think he might dress up, but he wouldn't try to impersonate a guy that he's not. Like you would know that somebody
that's the only way.
But it's obviously not. If you're in a seedy underworld, then you're around people that nobody knows who they are. Like
It seems like everybody's pretty well connected there.
I feel like you should have the right to be incognito in an underworld. That's part of. It should be part of the thing, not that you need a badge and a name tag. You know what I mean? Like the allure of being in an underworld. Why am I being a grouchy old man in every episode?
Get off my lawn.
When did I become my father?
When did we all?
But seriously though, like I was just thinking about this just a second ago. I was making more coffee and I was thinking about how, as anti-racist as the show is trying to be, how terrible is it that they take the one black guy and then turn him into a stereotypical pimp character that he has to play? You know what I mean? Like, how terrible is that? Just on the surface level, I think that it couldn't be worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty terrible. This show is trying to be so woke, and then it just does the most stereotypical, terrible thing that they could do and make him be that. You know, it's just, it feels like it's written by white people, but for black people. It's like, hey, we're going to address these issues and all this kind of stuff. And it's just, it's so irritating and like grating and like just, it feels like it's talking down to black people and it upsets me. Like, yeah, I know I'm not black, but it's just, it's upsetting to me a little bit. Like I heard that during that scene where the police officer interrupts them, like they had a huge drop off in views at that point, like in their statistics, like people just shut the show off. There's issues here that I know they're trying to address. I know they're trying to address them, and I can't because I know I'm white, so I can't say anything about this, but I wish they would lift black people up in a way that just shows that they're great and not in a way that's forced like this. It hurts. It's like, God, you don't have to do that.
I think if you're making a show about the Falcon, if you're talking about basically the process, it seems like the journey for Sam in this show is the process of him taking up the mantle of Captain America. Would you say that's where we're getting to? I think that's where we're going.
That's what it feels like. But at the same time, Bucky said, I'm taking the shield. So I don't know if like he's going to be, I doubt it, but
I do like how any opportunity Bucky's, oh, I'm going to steal that. I'm taking that shield from that guy. I'm taking it from him. The minute I get it, I'm taking that shield from him. I love that. But I think ultimately Bucky knows that Steve wanted Sam to have the shield.
Yeah.
So if you have a show about the mental emotional journey of Sam accepting the responsibility of being the new Captain America, then you have to deal with some race stuff. You have to. It has to happen.
Sure.
Like you do a disservice to the show if you don't go there. So having a couple of scenes that kind of
some of it feels a little inauthentic, and I hope that they really have black writers on the show that are contributing to the story and not just saying, what's definitely the stereotypical thing that we think a black guy would, and that's what it feels like to me. And that's why it bothers me so much. It's not that I don't want these things in the show. It's that they don't feel real. They don't feel authentic. That's my issue with it.
You feel like the scene with the cops doesn't feel authentic?
I feel like it could happen, and it could have happened, and probably did happen a lot. You know what I'm saying?
But literally last year, a cop kneeled on a guy's throat until he died. That happened last year.
God, it's terrible, and nobody should have somebody's...
it's awful.
No one should have their foot on somebody's neck for 2 minutes straight or whatever that is.
Definitely.
It's fucking terrible that guy did that. And so what do you do with that? What do you do with that? Now we know that he was ODing on fentanyl. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking terrible. Like, all of it is terrible. Obviously shouldn't happen.
I think it's people saying, hey, man, get your knee off that dude's neck. Like... He's saying he can't breathe. Obviously, something's going wrong here. And him being like, I'm in charge here. I know what I'm doing. I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah. And there's an issue with police. Police have to learn they have power that most people don't have. And they have to learn how to respect that. And that's a big part of training that's happening.
It should be their job to de-escalate.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not saying it's all like, obviously there's shit that's fucked up. I'm just saying, yeah. And maybe that is a realistic situation. Maybe that shit happens all the time. And maybe it's just because I'm lucky enough that I don't have to be in that situation. Who knows?
Because I've seen enough, like, and of course this is all like, it's not even secondhand if it's Twitter, it's just whatever. It's just watching a video of somebody or whatever. But I guess seeing people, and I go back to like professional athletes because I feel like that's that's a group of people that find themselves in these types of situations a lot where cops will give them a hard time and then somebody will be like, wait, don't you know who this is Plaxico Burress, who plays for the Giants. And then it's, oh, just kidding, man. We're good here. Everything's cool.
Yeah, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. This is an issue with clothing, with young people these days. Like, it's not that they're doing anything wrong. It's just you bring attention to yourself. That's what you're doing. If it seems out of place, then the cops have a right to be curious.
Yeah, but how they approach that curiosity is, again, like training, de-escalation, those types of things, to be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Let's talk this out, as opposed to
obviously
sticking a gun in somebody's face or taking them down first and asking questions later, that kind of stuff.
For sure. We have steps to take in society. I'm not disagreeing with that. I just wish it felt more natural instead of forced. I don't know. Like, that's the only words I have for it.
It's just like right now, over the last year, there's been a national conversation about these things. So the fact that it's in this show, the fact that the show is like dabbling in that conversation, I think is perfectly valid and understandable. Now, at the same time, do I hope that there are black writers on this show? Absolutely. 100% there should be. And having him dress up like a pimp, not a great look either. So there's like, this show gives us an opportunity to show a world that we want to be in, and not one that is a worst case scenario for a world that we're in. You know what I mean? Like, this should be that opportunity, not. Well, I mean, I think we're going to get there. Like, I think I think this show is going to end up with Sam being Captain America. I think that's the aspirational thing that we're going for. This guy represents America, and everything that Sam has done through all of these movies shows that he's a stand-up dude. And I think that's why Cap gave him the shield and not Bucky, because Bucky's obviously got some murdery stuff that he needs to deal with.
Yeah. The moment when Falcon addressed the kid and he was like, the Black Falcon and the Falcon, that was the right kind of moment. That was the thing that we need.
That was a good moment. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing we need. It's like you said, it's getting there. It's getting there. And I hope they do it in a way that's more tasteful than dressing a guy up like a pimp. That's all I'm saying.
Valid.
Seems like a fair, seems fair.
Yeah.
All right.
So what else did you watch? Oh, let's talk about the VOW. Let's talk about the VOW. Let's talk about the VOW. You can't bring up the fact that you guys binged the entire, it's what, like 8 episodes? 6 episodes?
It's 9.
9 episodes, all in a week. Woo! Now, did you finish the Stars one?
No.
The Stars?
No. Okay. I tried to, and I couldn't. I don't know why. It's interesting.
But you get what I'm saying, where the VOW is like a little bit more palatable?
Yeah, the VOW, it looks at it from different angles and different people's perspectives, and gives you a little more behind the scenes stuff. And like, I'm trying to find some images. This girl, she's out?
Yeah, I think so. I think she's like living in Albany or something. Or wait, is she in jail?
In a way, I think what happened is they probably didn't want to press charges against her, because if they did, then all the other women would have, because they were all participating. Okay, so we're getting adult.
Okay, so she's not in prison for now, but she might not have had.
Just a fair warning to listeners. Like, now's the time to shut it off for 12-year-olds, right?
Yeah. Liam,
sorry, bro.
Isaac, but you don't have to listen for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Thanks for listening up to now. We appreciate you. This is for the adults.
Yep. Okay, so she was released on a $5 million bond and is on house arrest. This was as of April of 2018. She struck a deal. Yeah, she took a deal, pled guilty to racketeering and racketeering conspiracy charges, but that helped her avoid the sex trafficking conspiracy and the forced labor conspiracy stuff.
So how many years is that?
She'll face up to 40 years, 20 years for each count for which she pled guilty.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of years. All because the smooth talking volleyball player.
Yeah.
I want you to kiss him on the mouth. Man, the episode of The Vow where Sarah reveals to Mark that she has the brand. Oh boy, that was early on. That might have been episode 2. Like, and then also when they figured out that when it was like, oh crap, those are Keith's initials and Allison's initials. Yikes. Yeah, click that one. That's when stuff gets crazy, man. When you're sitting down with a pen and a napkin and you're like, what if the design of the brand that we're going to use looks like this? And then you're like, ooh, hold on, wait, what if we did it this way? What if the brand, like, the design process for the branding that's when the red flags should have been like, maybe it's time to walk away. Maybe we're too invested in this.
It seems to me like this might have actually been Allison's idea.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Because up until this point, Keith seemed like he had scaled back his overtly sexual things from the business. Like he had scaled it back. He had gotten rid of his previous board members.
Yeah, he was like sleeping with all of them.
He was sleeping with every single one of them. Yeah. He replaced them with people that gave him more clout and proceeded to just do his dirty deeds in the back room. Yeah. And I found it really interesting and that he wasn't even associated with the company other than creating everything. Like he didn't have a stake in the actual company. Like
in ESP NXIVM?
He didn't own it. That was
like Nancy Salzman and the Bromf.
Yeah. So like
but I think that's more shell game than anything. I think that's plausible deniability. Yeah. I think that's him being a manipulator and being like, no, it doesn't need to be in my name because when the hammer falls, it won't fall on me specifically.
Exactly. No, it's all genius, psycho evil genius shit.
Right. And then, if you ever tap back into the Stars documentary, you'll see that he's still very much involved in the sexual stuff with this new crop of girls.
For sure. I'm just saying they're not on his board of directors or whatever. Yeah.
There's some buffers, but they're definitely like sending him in to do special trainings, one-on-ones, late night. Yeah. The mission is to seduce Keith.
Here's the thing. Like, if you're this guy and you've created this company, you shouldn't need to manipulate women in such an overt way. Like, you're technically a high value male dude. Like, at this point, they should just be coming.
That's what makes him completely awful. and that's what makes this story interesting. You know what I mean?
Like, because I don't mean to get like weird here, but like women, they want that like top 10%, 3% dude. That's what women look for.
Yeah.
And if you're not that dude, he's that dude.
His problem wasn't that he couldn't get one of these ladies. His problem was that he wanted all of these ladies.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. You got to give him a choice. Yeah. And this symbol, man. So if you're watching YouTube here, you just turn the symbol sideways in your mind, and that makes a K and an R for his initials. And if you're looking at it straight on, it's an A and an M for Allison Mack. So they really work together on this design.
It's real hard. It's real hard to deny that. Real hard to deny that.
Yeah.
Hard to be like, what are you talking about? I wasn't involved at all. There's your initials right there. What? Nah. That's some mountains. That's some Stonehenge right there.
Sure.
Nah.
Yeah. And the fact that and the girls didn't realize this. That's the sick part.
Whew. Well, that's part of the thing is if they had a week to contemplate getting branded, but it was like, hey, we're going to do this special thing and it's going to be awesome and sisterhood and all this stuff. By the way, it's a brand. All right, who's up first? Like, they had no time to contemplate their actions on this one.
And
that's part of the scam. Don't give them time to opt out or to look at it closely enough to realize that.
And they invited Sarah to this, which was their big mistake, because Sarah's married already and she's running one of the whole things in Vancouver.
Yeah, she's running the Vancouver or whatever.
That was the mistake. It wasn't, obviously all of this is terrible, but as far as getting caught, you don't have a girl that really can't do what you're asking. You don't ask her to step so far out of her moral guidelines or her like business ethics when she's you teach everyone ethics in this program up to this point. So obviously if she's leading your group in Vancouver, that she has these perceived ethics. And so when you ask her to do something outside of it, she's going to break. But
I also think there's a part of, if you show her 10%, if you're like, hey, you're in the club and here's 10 to 15%. And that 10 to 15% is all the good stuff, or like somewhat good, because, you know, the branding is obviously not great. But if you're like, all right, so here's the deal. We're going to do, if you bring her in for 10, 15%, maybe even 50%, so then she's going to vouch for that program to all of her other people. So you use her to say it's an okay thing and it's not crazy town. And then somebody else who is more vulnerable to the situation is going to take her word for it and be like, oh, Sarah vouched for it, so I know this is okay, when in all actuality, they're being sold two totally different things.
Yeah, but that's the problem, right? The master-slave dynamic, and then she has to do that. And she's obviously not going to be comfortable with it because she's not that kind of person, and they should have known better from the get.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So
there's a lot of that going around. There's a lot of should have known better going around.
Obviously, but I'm just saying, if they didn't bring her into the fold, this would have kept going.
But I think part of it is also her, Mark, Bonnie. They were like and Alice and Mac were the branch that could bring Hollywood in. You know,
that's what I'm saying. She was such an asset. Business wise, it's too risky to try to bring her into this part of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it should have been obvious from the get to not bring her into this part.
Definitely.
Because if they didn't, none of this would have unraveled.
I think they would have gotten there eventually. Somebody would have blown up.
It would have been like way later. It would be like now maybe. But like Mark got out, and if he hadn't got Sarah out, then this wouldn't. God, you know, what a nightmare. What a freaking
And Mark
nightmare.
wouldn't have gotten out if it weren't for Bonnie. So kudos to Aunt Beru.
Yeah.
For bringing down the NXIVM cult.
She did. And I keep thinking in the back of my mind, like, percentage of people helped versus percentage of people destroyed.
Right.
That's what's weird about this. I feel like they actually helped.
How many people came in, did one course and were like, you know what? That made sense. And now I think about things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And and then they were like, all right, cool. That was a fun weekend. Now I'm going to go back to my life.
Yeah. Like they cured multiple people of Tourette's. That's not.
Do we believe that?
It happened. That guy doesn't have Tourette's anymore. Did you see the footage? The before and after?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they really helped that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like part of my brain just wants to give them the benefit of the doubt, even though I know it's all set up to have this ultimate terrible result. Like you help people and then they feel like they owe you something. Like it's a manipulation tactic. But at the same time, you have to help people first. You know what I mean? And there thousands of people were being helped. These centers were everywhere. They're all over America, North and South America, and some in Europe. Like most people probably took a class and had some issues resolved and moved on with their life. And they were actually helped by this corporation. That's the thing in my mind where it's, is it a disservice?
You're so close.
Yeah. Is it like just a disservice to close this whole thing down? Or should they have had somebody new come in and fix this stuff? You know what I mean? Because if they're really helping people, it's a shame that it's not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the same time,
there's nothing stopping like the people who were on that like original board who like know the principles inside and out who were there from day one. Those people who were like on equal footing as Keith, there's nothing stopping them from being like, you know, calling it something different and then going out and doing their own thing and teaching workshops and whatever.
Yeah, but I feel like they're so stigmatized. Like it's so stigmatized that
if you call it something else and just teach workshops to HR representatives, Holiday Inn somewhere, obviously like right now that's not happening. Like I think there's going to be a market for that.
Yeah, self-help is an entire section in the bookstore. It's not. That's the ironic thing about self-help is like you keep reading it, or like, you know, I mention this in almost every podcast, but I have an addictive personality, so of course there was a phase where I was just like self-help, and so then you just get addicted to reading about changing, but not actually,
and not actually changing, doing the work.
Yeah, so like it's a slippery slope. You got to learn it and then do it, and that's like teaching people to do something. That's the trick, like to actually get them to do something.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
You give them tiny silk scarves that don't fit and don't serve a purpose.
Yeah, because like this whole limiting beliefs
makes them bow.
Like they have a whole thing about limiting beliefs, and I think that's a real thing. And I even go into some of the content that I'm creating for my other project. And like now I feel like I can't even say limiting beliefs because it's been scarred.
Yeah, gotta change that.
The vernacular. Because it's been scarred from the VOW, but it's a real thing. It's not made up. Everyone has beliefs about how the world works and operates and what they and their
call them
roles
mental obstacles. There you go.
Yeah,
mental obstacles.
Thank you, Coach Ben.
I have these mental obstacles. And I need to progress. I need to,
but they're not even mental. Like they're subconscious. Like they're really in there, and it's just a matter of unscrewing those a little bit. And you're right, it is mental.
You've got your mental obstacles, and then you've got your subconscious and your conscious, and then we'll create a pyramid from that.
We should make our own next.
Yeah. What was it?
Executive success programs.
We'll call it success programs for executives.
Dude, they pay a lot of money for this kind of stuff. Yeah.
You guys want to go play wiffle ball out back? We'll talk about our subconscious and conscious mental obstacles, and don't forget to wear your handkerchiefs so everybody knows what rank you are.
Yeah, I couldn't stop watching this because when I saw him talk to Allison Mack for the first time in that volleyball court, that was what he did was magic. Like he made that girl fall in love with her in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Did you get what was happening there?
Yeah, I mean, there's also like a certain amount of priming before that because at this point, she's probably taken a handful of courses. She's definitely done at least a weekend. So I'm sure she's seen a video of him on TV and watched him talk about stuff. So there's a certain amount of like hero worship already built in from her, like to the point where they do meet. But yeah, he's definitely grooming her in that moment.
In that moment, that was the moment that she fell in love with him. And you get to see in real time how you can manipulate someone just using language. And it's nuts. To me, it's like, that is the thing. Like that skill, that's the thing you want to have, man. Like you can really affect change in people. And it made me want to watch the whole rest of the thing. I was just completely captivated by what he did. He basically said, what is the thing that you like to do? Why? And then said, oh, you can have that feeling anytime. And then it just broke her brain, broke her limiting belief about it, and did it in real time. She didn't even realize it happened. And she's asking him to do an EM, which he just did on her. And then she's forever grateful to this guy and goes psycho and wants to move in with him in 5 minutes of talking. And if there's a way to do this for people to help them and not manipulate them into terrible things, I think that is a powerful skill to have or learn. And why wouldn't you want to teach that to people? You know?
Yeah. Which is why you should sign up for success programs for executives.
We'll have a link in the description.
Yep, we'll have a link in the description.
As a total side note, we probably could do that.
Yeah, we would have to call the group because NXIVM is really close to NXIVM, the heartburn medication.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Our group would have to be called either Zantac or Prilosec, but spelled with V's and X's.
Yeah. Zantac.
Yeah, it's X.
Yeah. Zantex.
A with a squiggly over top of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one of the ends is backwards.
Right.
TEK.
Yeah. And then we'll have to come up with something that
Zantac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra abilities, normalized.
Do you need to free your mind? Do you need to free yourself of the shackles of everyday life? Join our success programs for executives here at Zantac. We can unleash the inner power that you so greatly deserve to have. It's already inside of you. It's already there. We just need to unlock it. Don't forget your teal handkerchief.
Yeah, we obviously would have to skip the handkerchiefs and the cult. Yeah, but businesses pay big money for this kind of stuff. I'm just saying, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And go on tour. Yeah, why not?
Yep. Yeah. Hit all the Holiday Inn conference rooms. That's right.
Free coffee. And
sit across from your partner and whisper, "You got it, dude." Now, partner, respond, "You got it, dude. You got it, dude." Jacob, say it back.
You got it, dude.
You feel that?
That's great.
You feel that?
Yeah. What's holding you?
Now, for the room, does everybody feel like they got it, dude? You do, right? You feel like you've got it? Great.
Stand up if you've got it.
Stand up if you've got it. Hold your
Stand
hand
up.
up and say, I've got it, dude. Let's have a cathartic moment so we know that it's working. You emotional will make you think that something happened. Work yourself into a frenzy. You got it, dude.
What are we even talking about? We're gone off the rails again.
We're talking about Prilosec.
Zantac.
Talking about Zantac.
Extra and extra.
Now let's go up back and play some wiffle ball. Wiffle ball is the perfect sport because anyone can play it, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a sport where people get left behind. It's not a sport where people feel left out. It's inclusive. Everyone gets to swing a bat, and that's you letting out your aggression. But sometimes you miss the ball because you're too aggressive. So it's finding that perfect balance between aggression and focus. Wiffle ball.
You got it, dude.
You got it, dude.
But as a result of this show, that's what I'm trying to reconcile, is if they really helped thousands of people,
yep,
but ruined 20 people's lives, what is the trade-off? Like, just ethically, morally, is that a fair trade-off? If you help, let's say 20,000 people's lives are improved, but 20 people.
I think that is I think 20,000 is a huge mark.
I think it's close to that. I think it was.
But you also have to hold it up against if they had just gone to like a Tony Robbins style self-help seminar, would they have gotten the exact same thing? So there's also like
an alternative available, right?
Could they have just, it sounds like the number of people
harmed. Yeah, it's too many.
Harmed. Yeah. The harmed number I would say is more than 20. Just seeing some of like the pyramids down.
Yeah.
Alice and Max got her 10 slaves. Yeah. And each 10 of them have their 10
I think it was
slaves.
6, but yeah.
Whatever. Oh, it's a 6, whatever.
Yeah, still, it's a lot. Yeah.
So it gets a little exponential. And then all of those people at this point who did have like, maybe those people in the middle ground who like maybe did it for 6 months and then they're like, you know what, I'm not gonna run my own NXIVM center in Nebraska, so I'm just gonna call it now, or like maybe I'm out of money.
But when they duck out, are they better people at that point? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
That's
like,
what I'm trying to say is like NXIVM was huge. I remember seeing the ads, man. I remember clicking on it and being like, oh, this looks really interesting. And then I look at the price and I'm like, no, but still. Like there's a market for that, and it affected a lot of people. A lot of people saw this. I don't know, man. Like I'm just being devil's advocate, but
right, no. But at the end of the day,
is there a level like what if they helped 1 million people? You know what I mean? Is that worth 100 people being completely just terribly? No, it's not obviously, but on some level, like philosophically, but what is
No, I get it. It's the train experiment.
Yeah.
The train is going to kill 5 people, but if you switch to the track, it's only going to kill 1 person. Which one do you do? But the other thing is all of those people who did have positive experiences at this point have to look back now and be like, oh crap, was I manipulated into, now that all this stuff has come out, they have to go back.
Now it might undo the benefits.
Was I brainwashed? Yeah.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I like
theoretically,
part of me wishes
as an experiment.
Part of me wishes there was a version of this organization that existed that didn't have the sex trafficking slave thing going on. You know what I mean? Could do some good in the world.
The financial obligations, the people who are like having to like take money out of their houses to continue to pay for more classes. That's like sick. You see that with Scientology too, where they're like, oh, all the money that I make just goes into more audits and that kind of stuff. That's where it's...
Yeah, they should teach them the tools that they need to do it themselves and not require more of the stuff. There shouldn't be 1 million levels, obviously. It should be like, these are the tools, take them, use them, don't use them, buy. You know? But then maybe it wouldn't have grown as much.
So that also makes me wonder, from a business standpoint, it sounds like their business model doesn't work. Because if you, need people to keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back, and they keep having to borrow all this money from the Bronfman sisters and their sweet Seagram's money.
Honestly,
or were the books being so completely, was money just being spent willy-nilly? But it's not like these people were living in like lavish Joel Osteen houses in Albany.
I think what happened,
a townhouse.
I think to convince the proctors to bring more people in, I think it was probably like a 50-50. So like only half of the money is going into the organization, but still that's a lot of money. That's a lot of courses.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of passive income.
Yeah. Semi-passive. You got to have a course and a class and
you got to set it all up and
Yeah. But for the people at the top, I don't know, man. I just wish there was, I guess ideally the reason you're so sold on our people are so sold on the idea of it when it first came out is because it sounds so great. It's like people really wanting to make the world a better place and all coming together and all of them like wanting the best for each and every other person. And it's so great sounding. It's so idealistic and it makes me want to have something like that in the real world. Why can't we have people looking for the best in other people and wanting to help other people? Like, where are those people?
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. There's no money in it. I think there is. I think there are lessons to be learned from watching this show that can benefit everyone. It's if you help someone else, you're actually doing yourself a favor. I think that's an important lesson to learn. Like, even if it doesn't come back directly, just having that positive experience, like you being a positive force in the world, to me, is only going to bring back more of it. You know what I mean? Totally.
Reciprocity is a real thing. If I give you something, you feel like you owe me something. And I just wish we operated like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm sick and twisted and maybe I'm psycho too, but like I'm psycho to the degree that I think it would be great if people just wanted to help other people more. I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? I'm
just saying it's going to be tough to achieve that on a mass scale because I feel like we as a society are so focused on money. The fact that it doesn't generate revenue means
that's what I'm saying.
It's going to get less traction.
That's what I'm saying. I think it does generate revenue. I think people don't know that. I think society is focused on not having money. I think they're focused on what they don't have instead of what they do have, and what they don't focus on what they have to offer. You know what I mean? I think that's the hole. That's the hole that needs to be plugged, because the successful people in our society, I'm not a fan of Jeff Bezos, but I mean, he found a niche. He found a way to help people, and his company just grew. Like people that are up there, they got there somehow, and they found something that they could offer people value. That's how things grow, and they get the spoils. So like that not being taught is a disservice to, I think, 99% of Americans. The fact that we think we're owed something, and it's just, I don't know. I'm on both sides of this because I rely on the government right now, but at the same time, I'm trying to build something that can help people. So it's hard getting over those limiting beliefs, if you will. It really is. Like they're in there, and I'm fighting with them on a regular basis.
Mental obstacles, please.
Excuse me.
Mental obstacles. Stay on Zantac brand, please. That's right. Got to get our Zantacs together.
Yeah. No.
Let me put a button on this real quick, though.
Sure.
Because one of the things that stuck with me was Mark being like, nobody joins a thing to, nobody thinks, yay, I'm signing up to be in a cult.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah. So my question to you is, do you think you could fall into that trap?
Yeah, for sure. It's so, I think my brain goes in different places. I think as a society, we've all fallen into that trap and we don't realize it. Well, I'm trying to pull up the picture of Mark.
Screw the picture of Mark. Let's just have a conversation. Look me in my eyes.
Okay.
You can do it.
I already got it.
You got it, dude. There it is.
You got it, dude. I just think as a society, we've already fallen down that trap. So language has power and we don't realize it. You can be manipulated at any point and you don't know it. And so that's my take on it. So like for me, yeah, I would be sold into this program in a heartbeat. I would be like, oh, this is great. I clicked on the ad. I just didn't have the funds to go to the meeting. You know what I mean? Right. And it's just a matter of the pot.
Slow indoctrination.
Yeah. The pot just boiling, coming to a boil so slowly that you just have no idea. And I think that's what's happened to us with society and pop culture. And I think that's what's happening. That's exactly what happened with NXIVM. They just raised the temperature so slowly that the people didn't notice. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. It's like at some point now, I don't think I would. I think I would see through it at some point. When somebody asked me to do something that felt uncomfortable, I trust that more. I trust that gut now. But when I was younger, for sure, no way. Yeah, I would have just been going right along with it. I'm
now we're in our older curmudgeon-y stages where it's like, more friends? Nah, I don't think so. I'm good with the ones I have.
I don't have time for that.
I'm making my circles smaller, not bigger. I'm not trying to bring in a whole new group and getting them used to my jokes. Not a chance.
We don't have time for all that. But
man, you got time for no new friends?
Come
on. They better
at the same
be
time,
pretty darn appealing.
Yeah, at the same time, there's a part of me that wants to go to, Comic-Cons and conventions and things like that. And part of me wants to do all that. And then the other part of me wants to sit at home and watch this stuff on TV and not actually be involved. So could I have been taken probably 10 years ago? Easy. Now, nah, because when people ask me to do something that feels uncomfortable, I'm more comfortable in my skin addressing it at that moment in time. But for whatever reason, that part of ourselves is like muted because of the way that we respect authority. So like we don't stand up for ourselves probably as much as we should in general in society, But yeah, that's my 2 cents. What about you? Do you think you could ever fall into something like this?
Oh, probably. Absolutely. My hope would be that like once things get weird or if something's outside of acceptable, that I would be like, oh no, I don't want to do this. I'm not about that. But like being able to put my head down and go all in on a thing is well within my wheelhouse, i.e. working at the Kingdom. Like that was the minute it got warm, my priorities became working at the amusement park.
Yeah. Or moving to Chicago or New York.
Yeah. So then that's another thing. Like, and had I been younger, I think I would have like completely dived into the like New York improv scene to be 100% like at every show, eating, sleeping, drinking improv. But by the time I got there, I had an established group of friends that I wanted to hang out with more than meeting new people, and B, like life outside of improv kind of goals to work on. So yeah, similar, like could some charismatic person convince me to use a different vocabulary to work on being a better person? Probably. But I would also hope that I would have enough wherewithal to be like, nah, something ain't right here, and to jet. Yeah. And definitely like the financial aspects of all of like this and Scientology, completely nah, like no way. Like I had a hard enough time paying $200 for an improv class. I'm not, and that's a thing that I love to do.
Yeah.
But
$2,000 or whatever. Yeah.
$2,000 for a weekend at a Holiday Inn. For me, there's a lot of overlap between like corporate getting to know you games and improv games, to where there's enough overlap in those to where like I could make up an entire like weekend's worth of business meeting games to work on different things. Like you tell me we want to work on communication, I can make five kind of exercises right now that will work on that. And I'm not trying to toot a horn here. I'm just saying those two things overlap so much. And I've done enough of that with working at the amusement park and various other jobs to where I've done enough like freaking team building stuff to like last a lifetime. So that's just one of those things that I'm like confident in. So I could never see myself spending real like rent money on something that like I could make up. Yeah. And the problem is those things are all well and good when you're in the room, but it's about how do you practically apply that in your life after you leave the room.
Yeah. It's the doing. Yeah. Switch to the doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure out that
long-winded answer.
Figure out that piece. We can be rich, I think.
Definitely. Yeah. If you sign up
for
Zantac.
We got a free,
we will show you
introductory class
how to apply our principles in your everyday life so that when you're not in the room anymore, you think back to your time at the success programs for executives and you'll remember how to apply our principles, the principles of our programs, back when you get to managing your chilies.
That's right.
That's right.
Is this podcast going to become a secret self-help podcast? Are we just gonna like all of the listeners until
I'm gonna have to read that like neurolinguistics book.
You gotta read the book, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn that.
I know your birthday's coming up. Maybe I can get it for your birthday.
I'm gonna have to tell my nephews and my niece to stop listening to those.
No, it would be designed to help them.
They're too young.
Yeah. The more you listen, the more you realize that now you can take control of your own life.
That's right.
Because
do you have subconscious mental obstacles? You can break free of them with Xanax. Our proven methods are proven methods. They have been scientifically proven. Look, modern psychology is a scam. They have done more to poison the minds of human beings than anyone else. And our proven methods use what you already have. It's locked away inside of you, and we can unlock it. I could do this for another hour, so we should probably cut this short. Because, and by short, we're already an hour and a half in. Yeah. But you need to cut me off on those, because I'll just keep going. No, just keep going. What and then all of a sudden, we will have
what you know. Yeah, this language, man.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think we should do it.
Oh man, I mean, I'm fully down to create a website that just shits on Keith Raniere.
Oh man,
we'll play some wiffle ball.
Okay, all right.
My question to you now: is this entertainment?
Is it? And if you, for some reason, you are entertained, or you feel better about yourself now that you've listened.
Yep. If you feel better, everyone, here's your homework. Here's your homework after today's podcast. Look in the mirror, or if you have a partner, sit across from your partner and say, "You got it, dude." It's 10 times. You got it, dude. Don't blink while you say it. You got it, dude. If you don't feel better after 10 you got it, dudes, a piece from you and your partner, or just 10 in the mirror by yourself, if you don't feel better, then you can have our money back guarantee. You get a full refund on this podcast.
Full refund.
That is the Success Programs for Executives decree.
Seriously though, make sure you
and subscribe and share.
I don't know if we want people to share this episode, but
share one of the WandaVision episodes.
Sure. Yeah.
Share the Snyder Cut episode.
Yeah. And on that note, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.